welcome back to this program. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter when you are watching this program, I hope you're going to learn a lot and enjoy this program. Well, today in this chapter, we're going to learn language used in letters. Well, we have several our chapter focus. We're going to take a closer look at it. Okay, the first chapter focus is to learn the rules of good writing, 3C and KISS. 我们学习撰写一封好的商业书信该注意的 3C 跟 KISS 的原则。第二个是 to learn the language used in business letter， 学习在商业书信里头会使用到的用语。Well, people are busy, so they don't have much time to read something that irrelevant. 这不相关的资讯，他们没有时间读。So to the point 的这个 letter 非常的重要，也就是你一刀就要单直入这个重点主题。还有要确定的一个重点就是 one theme at a time， 在一封书信里头，一个主题，一封信件。如果你有好几个事情要提，那你就分几件事情来说了哈。You do not include more than one theme in a letter， 不要在一封书信里头写超过一个主题以上的信这是不够专业的。当然，最后你应该确定 you write correctly in grammar、punctuation, structure and word usage， 就是说你在写的时候，你要注意到你的文法，还有注意到你的标点符号，还有那种基本的款式的结构这些字的使用都要很准确。那在这一整学期我们会学这方面的，会帮助你更有信心。当然，还有一件事情就是你总是可以 review your letter before you send it off，总是可以review 它，因为放了一下再看，可能又可以看出一些重点。还有呢，就是you可以 ask someone to proofread it， 就是请别人帮你校对一下。有时候我们自己会有 blind spot， 就是盲点，因此有人帮你 proofread it is a good thing. Well, now we're going to move on to check it out. Check it out. It was something that I think is important when you write a business letter. I think this is important. First, I want to emphasize time is money. Okay, so you need to make sure your letter is to the point. The second thing is you need to convey the message quickly. Okay, don't address too many 不相关的东西。You always convey 你的主题，你这封信的重点是什么？还有 you convey this message accurately, briefly and concisely。你要确定你的信件都能够很准确地表达你的意思。还有一个我觉得很重要的是书信的本身就是一个沟通 ，so it's a conversation by post. So 你在写信的时候，你好像在说话一样，而不是在写论述文一样，让人家感觉很冷冰冰的。所以你这封信就是一个沟通的书信，所以你可以边写边说，会让人家感觉这封信比较 friendly。那还有一个就是3C 3C is a good guideline. So what does that mean 3C? Well, it's easy to remember. The first C is a clear. So you need to make sure your language used is a clear, 很清楚. Your message is a clear. People will know what is your point. Second, it's a concise. Because people are busy, time is money, so they don't read something that's not relevant to the message. So you need to make sure your message is concise, 很精简的。最后是一个 courteous is 礼貌。你会说老师在商场上很重要吗？ Well， 商场上很重要，沟通很重要，在书信的里头，字眼的表达也是非常的重要。Courteous 很有礼貌 ，3 C's。 Well， 还有一个 guideline 就是 KISS， 我常告诉学生 is a KISS 原则。K 第一个 K 是 keep，you keep this later，it 就是那个 later，simple 简单 ，short。Keep it simple and short， 让这封信又简单又短，这是3C 的原则。Well， 我们现在先休息一下，马上回来，我们可以进行下一个单元。Welcome back. This section is writing tips. I try to group some important tips for you to remember. For example, in the business letter, you need to avoid wordness, 避免冗长的长的字。Well， 因为在商场上，大家要读的东西是很多的，你避免用长的生字或者是深色的生字。人家比较不容易看懂的生字，那接下来老师就要来比较，有些你可以避免的。好 ，old-fashioned style 就是比较老式的表达方式 ，natural style 就是比较通俗法，你可以采用通俗的方式。For example, number one, we are writing with reference to. Well， 这就有点绕舌了，你就可以直接说 we are writing about your shipment, about your request.Number two, we would like to express our regret of being unable to fulfill your requirement. 我们非常的难过，表达我们没有办法满足你的要求，这是很绕舌的字。你可以很简单的说 ，We are sorry, we cannot meet your requirement. 再看下一章。This information is required in connection with, well, 这封信是关于什么呢 ？Well, 是跟什么有相关？你可以直接说 ，This information is needed for applying your visa， 或者是 for shipping your shipping your paperwork, something like that. 所以你可以用很简单的被需要。第二个 ，We should be in a position to， 这太绕舌了，你就可以直接说 We should be able to do something， 我们可以做什么。再来一个 In the course of the next few weeks， 这种词句呢，在写作是很好，但是在商场的书信，你可以直接就说 During the next few weeks 就够了。这样子写呢，你已经可以让别人很轻松的、很容易读懂你的东西。还有就是，我觉得应该 avoid commercial jargon， 避免一些商业常使用的术语，因为不是每个人都专精这些行业，所以一些长的这些术语，你应该在你的书信上避免。我们来看两种表达法。The writer wishes to acknowledge。Well， 这个意思就是说 ，Thank you for your letter of 什么日期？好，你用刚刚第一个 the writer wishes to acknowledge 这种字就不需要出现。还有下一个 at your earliest convenience， 意思就是 as soon as possible。再来一个 enclosed please find， 意思就是 I enclose。你附件什么东西，你叫人家 please find something， 意思就是 I enclose one sample in this along with this letter。再来 ，please be good enough to advise us。Well， 这个句子写的是对的，没有错，但是你可以直接就说 please let us know， 这就是很口语的哈。最后一个 take into consideration。Well， 意思就是 consider， you take into consideration， 你就可以说 Please consider something 哈，像这样子的用语，同学们从 old fashion 到比较 natural way， 这是表示你能够像说话一样的简单来表示事情，你就不要用文绉绉的词来说明。还有一个，我觉得你需要 write naturally and sincerely。Well， 虽然你要用很简单的来表达，可是我觉得在写信的当中，你要注意你的 tone， 你的 writing tone， 你的写作的口气应该要自然诚恳，这是很重要的。我们来看一些例句。I have a pleasure in informing you。我有这个喜悦来通知你，你就可以直接说 I'm pleased to tell you something。Well， 第二个 ，We do not anticipate any increase in price。我们没有期待会在价钱上增长上升，你就可以说 We do not expect price to rise。Please be good enough to advise us。就是刚刚我们也有同样的类似的题目，就是 Please let us know。还有一个 Please favor us with a reply。Please let us hear from you。就这么简单。接下来还有一个重点，就是你的语气要适合情境，也就是你要 adopt a tone that suited to the occasion. So maybe you are complaining something, but the tone still need to be careful that you will not offend your recipient, the people who read your letter. 也就是说，为了使你的信达到目的，有时候情况是不一样的，但是你的语气仍然要能够准确的释放这样子的讯息，避免说收件人收到你的信的时候会感觉不舒服，所以你要小心，你要 adopt a tone suited to the occasion， 语气要适合情境，哪怕你是写一封抱怨的信件，你仍然要注意你的语气不会让人being offended， 觉得有被冒犯的感觉，这种感觉必须要在你的书信里头避免。那接下来我们就来看old fashioned way 跟natural way。Okay， we cannot do anything about your problem。你可以你像这个很直接的说 ，we can't do anything about your problem。你直接的这么说，其实是很粗鲁的。你换一个方法，你怎么说呢？你可以说 ，Unfortunately, we are unable to help you on this occasion。很不幸的是，我们没有办法帮助你在这个情况下，我们没有办法帮助你。那这样子呢，你就可以让人家感觉舒服一点。你直接说 "We can't help you, we can't do anything about your problem"， 这个在感觉上是不舒服的。那我们再看下一个例句 ：The problem would not have happened if you had connected our agent earlier。他说这个问题呀是不会发生的，如果你有早一点通知我们的 agent 的话，这个感觉就很使人不舒服了，好像责备对方。那你换一个方法，你怎么说呢？ The problem will be resolved by connecting our agent。你换成正面的语调来说，说这个困难是可以被解决的，如果你早先通知我们的 agent。下一个。Your notebook guarantee is up, so you will have to pay for it to get fixed. 他说你的这个笔记本的这个guarantee 保证期已经到期了，你必须要付钱才能够修理。这个口气换一个语气来讲，人家会舒服多了。就是说the guarantee for your notebook has expired.We are afraid you will have to bear the cost of any repairs. The guarantee 这个你的笔记本的这个保证期已经过期了，我们恐怕呢，你必须要付这个修理的费用。那这样子说呢，就可以让对方感觉舒服得多。我们刚刚前面这几个例句，就是告诉你，你直接的用 否定 negative 的口吻来说明一件事情，其实是不好的。这样子，虽然你的目的是要让对方付钱，目的是要告诉对方 problem cannot be solved， 但是你换另外一种写作的 style， 你就可以把负面变成正面。当然还有一个tips， 就是要 write simply and effectively， 写得简单又有力。老师觉得通俗的字，通常是用简单的字来表达，因为简单的字会比那些长串的字还要容易表达，还要容易明白。你如果能用简单的字，你就不要用长串的字，因为会让人家 confused， 而且让人家觉得很难读懂。我们现在也来看一些例句。Purchase 这个字是很大的字，采购。那其实简单一点就是 buy。有时候我的同学宁可用 purchase 也不要用 buy， 那是在写作的当中。写作的当中想要看你的词汇量是不是够多，以至于你可以运用大的字。但是在商业书信里头，老师会建议你能够用最简单的字，你就不要用复杂的字。比如刚刚那个 purchase， 其实你用 buy 是足够表达了啊。好，我们来看下一个 in the near future， 这多了这么多个字，意思就是 soon 会怎么样就可以了哈。再下一个 at the present time，well。这个意思就是 now， 但是同学们有时候就会选择用 at the present time， 目前的时间。你用 now 表达，不是就很清楚吗？最后 come to a decision， 我们来到了一个决定，意思就是 decide， 我 decide something。所以同学们，你看到了这些字，当你可以用简单的字，你不要用复杂的字，你可以用简短的字，你就不要用长串的字。All right, let's take a little short break. When we be back, we'll continue to learn more. Welcome back, students. In this section, we're going to do the checklist. Okay, that means before you send off your letter, I have a few things want you to check before you send off the letter. 我同学们这个单元是 checklist， 老师要你检查一下，当你寄出一封信之前，有一些 checklist， 你可以确定这些都 OK 了，再寄出信。首先第一个 ，Is it clear, concise, and courteous？是不是这封信我写的够清楚？我要表达的是不是已经表达了 ？Concise 有没有精简？还是很冗长？我说了一些不需要说的话。如果是不需要说的话，我就把它除去。还有就是我的口气是不是够 courteous， 可以够客气？这是第一个你要 check 的。第二个 ，Is all essential information included？ 就是是否这封信包含了重要的讯息？重要的讯息有没有包括在这里头？就是要 check 你这封信的 purpose 是什么？那么我是不是 to the point？ 我有一语道出我这封信的重点。还有一个就是 Are all the details accurate？如果你在这封信 provide some information, some details, you need to make sure 这些 details, 这些 information 是不是 accurate， 是不是正确？你不要寄出了一个不正确的information， 然后又再发一封信来 correct 你的东西，这都是不专业的表现。还有一个就是你的Sound, does it sound natural and sincere？ 就是你在这封信的口语里头，是不是很自然？是不是很真诚？老师有说过，信件就好像你跟对方说话一样，所以说话的口吻在写信可能就会觉得比较自然一点。好，这是你可以再读一次，感觉一下。还有一个就是 ，Would it be understood？ 就是你所写的东西是不是很容易被了解？那如果同学说我不知道，那你就可以请你的 colleague 你的同事帮你读一下，读完你问他说这封信是要做什么的，你看他说得出来没有？如果他说得出来，那这封信就 will be understood, can be understood 就 OK 了哈。还有就是 is all the spelling correct？ 所有的拼字是不是正确无误？那这个部分老师觉得你可以利用电脑的软体来 check 你的这些 spelling。还有一个就是有时候 spelling 会不让你check 的check 不出的，比如说 b u b y e 跟 b y， 可能你要的是 b y， 可是你写 b y e 都是 by， 它电脑就 check 不出来。在这种情况下，你还是要有人帮你读一下，会是最好的选择。Is the tone right？就是我这个语气适合吗？特别有些时候是 complain later， 是你抱怨的，或者是你催款，你的口气够不够客气？如果你说哎呀我是 complain， 当然不会有好口气，但是在 business later， 在一个 well trained被训练过的 business correspondence writer， 你应该注意这些部分。还有Is it properly punctuated and grammatically correct？ 你要 check 的文法、标点符号都对了吗？这些也是很重要。这些可能在你可以透过proofread 或者是就是软体的 check 可以帮你看出来。最后一个就是，如果以上的答案皆是都是 yes yes yes， and then you can send off this letter。当然，同学们在 send off a letter 之前，为了使你的信件很专业，也使你的表现很专业，这些 checklist 每一样你都要记住它，每一样你都要 go through。All right？Okay, well, now let's move on our question and answer. You know, we have questions from people who are working in the field. We have a question from students. So the next unit, question and answer, 我们会接受从业界来的问题，从学生来的问题，老师待会亲自为您解答。Welcome to Q&A section. In this section, we're going to take some questions from students or from people who are working in the business field. Especially the question will relate to what we have covered in this chapter. Okay, students and people who are from different fields, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
Is it okay when we talk, we say, by the way, to add more information? Can we do this in the email?
Well, yes. When we talk, we use by the way a lot to add more information. Well, I would say since a business email is not that it's more casual. So if you want to add more idea, you say, by the way, I think it is okay. However, if you show too many by the way in one message, it is not too professional. But yes, okay, occasionally, 偶尔的用它 by the way to add more information in your email. I think it's acceptable.
Who can proofread my letter? It seems we all are about the same level. How can I make sure that we'll do the better job?
Okay, who can proofread your letter? I know many people thought people need to be better, have a better English level to proofread your letter. Actually, your colleagues or people who work in the same office, they are okay to proofread your letter. You know, when they proofread, doesn't mean they need to be very good in English. It's just a different fresh mind and fresh eye. They may catch some mistake that you didn't catch it at the beginning. I would say all can do that. Of course, the person who proofread your letter, they need to know certain level of English. You are not asking someone who doesn't know any English to proofread your English business letter. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
What and how should I do to check that my letter was to the point?
Okay, what could you do, and how could you do to make sure your letter was to the point? I think peer review is helpful, which means you can ask your colleagues or assistant to read the letter that you have written and see if the message you try to convey, they get it. If they get it, I think probably they are to the point. And of course, what we cover in this chapter is a 3C and KISS guidelines that is very helpful. Like, is that clear? Is that concise? Is that courteous? 3C guidelines. And also make sure this letter is keep it simple and short. If you can check these guidelines, I think your letter will be okay. You can send the letter out without problem. Those questions you just asked are very good questions. I wonder, do you have many other more questions?
Lisa, you say when we are writing, we need to read it loud. May I know why?
Okay, I did tell my students when you are writing, you should read aloud. Well, that also includes when you are writing a business letter. The reason why I say you need to read aloud, because when you are writing, it's just like you are talking. So if you can read aloud while you are writing, so you tend to write more 口语化的句子, okay? And also we said it's a conversation by post, which means a business letter, it's just another type of conversation, but it's just a conversation by post. So I hope today what you asked the questions, that is a good question, and I hope our students will do that as well. When you are writing, you should read aloud, because if you do this, it tends to, you will write more sound naturally. That is the reason. Okay, thank you. 3C is a good guideline. So what does that mean, 3C? Well, it's easy to remember. The first C is clear. So you need to make sure your language used is clear, 很清楚. Your message is clear. People will know what is your point. Second, it's concise, because people are busy. Time is money, so they don't read something that's not relevant to the message. So you need to make sure your message is concise, 很精简的。最后是一个 courteous is 礼貌。你会说，老师，在商场上很重要吗？Well， 商场上很重要，沟通很重要，在书信的里头，字眼的表达也是非常的重要。Courteous 很有礼貌 ，3 C's. Okay, students, it's about the time to wrap it up. Well, before we let you go, I just want to emphasize what we learned today. Well, today we learned 3C and KISS, the guidelines to write a letter. Is that clear? Is that concise? Is that courteous? And make sure your letter is keep it simple and short. I hope you'll be back next week. We have more to learn. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.